Girls, boys, and everybody in between. It's me, Just May, your first eliminated queen from UK Drag Race Season 4. I'm back with yet another episode of May I Just Say? That's right, we are back with yet another episode of May I Just Say, and this week we are going to be reviewing episode 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4. I'm joined by a very special guest where we're going to be chatting about everything cat-related, furballs, and everything in between. We're going to be finding out what their Just Slay moment is and what they want to get fucked from this episode. But without any further ado, make some noise, be upstanding for my fellow redhead of Season 4. It's the one and only Copper Topp!
Hiya!
Copper Topp, how you doing, babe?
I'm so good. Lovely to see your face.
Oh, I know. And it's only one of it today.
Ooh, sexy. It's the one I love the most. And I'm giving you a bit of circus clown today. In the words of Britney Spears, all eyes on me in the centre of your ring.
Now, Copper, we kicked off episode 4 with a very sad moment for you because it was your lipstick message, babe. What did you say?
It was my lipstick message, sweetheart. I said I love you all so much because I bloody well do. And then I said, count your lucky stars that you're not playing me at Snatch Game because, well, she's feeling confident about that.
I can't wait to see it. And it's coming up very soon. Ooh.
I know.
Your lipstick message left a somber taste in Black Pepper's heart because she said, I'm going to miss Ginger. I don't know which one of us she was talking about or even if she meant Ginger Spice. Do you think she even knows your name yet?
It just goes to show how much that she's got no idea what's going on. She don't know my name for shit.
I think, do you know what? The luckiest thing that happened to her was that I left before you because it meant that she only had one Ginger to remember.
This is it. I like to think of it as though, you know, us sisters are so close. She just knows the colours of my pubes. The colours, as if there's many colours.
When Pocahontas said that she was painting with all the colours of the wind, she was really talking about your bush.
Paint with all the colours of the ginge.
Now let's kick off with this episode. We started with a mini challenge, a big booty mini challenge, line of booty. The girls had to try and play musical chairs with the biggest ass that they could. How big can you make your ass get, Copper?
Babes, get a pump and blow it up and you can go as big as you want.
Blow smoke up her ass, literally.
Please, I'm desperate.
The challenge saw our girls trying to compete for a seat. The seats went one by one until we were just left with our sister Pixie as the winner of that challenge. She had the biggest ass and she knocked, I think, Sminty off her seat to get that position. Do you think you would have done well in this mini challenge?
It was iconic. I think the key to winning this challenge is having the bigger bum. Like, pack it in, pack that padding in, stuff it with whatever. Like LaFille was stuffing croissants and pastry
in that ass.
Because some of those girls had absolutely no ass whatsoever, and I was like, "What are you going to use to like batter people out the way?" And Pixie had the right thing, baby. Stuff it up, and ultimately you win.
What did Pixie have in there?
I saw her when you cut quickly to her workstation and she chucked on like 3 pairs of hip pads, shoved them down. I was like, yes, baby, you are wise.
She is working that ass. Pixie won our mini challenge, which meant that she got to choose the lineups for our main challenge today. Our main challenge today was an improv challenge, something that I think that you might have been quite good at.
Oh, sweetheart. For you saying that, we are best friends forever.
Pixie chose our lineups for the challenge. She did it very democratively, if that's a word. It is now.
Democratively.
Put that in the dictionary. Just made democratively. She chose who she wanted, which I think was a very obvious choice. She went with Cheddar and Danny. Quite a strong team in the improv circuit. Then she paired off Dakota with Baby, and LaPhil. And then finally, we had our third team, which was Black Pepper, Sminty, and Jombers. Now, if you had to choose a team, which one would have you gone in?
Now, is this with the queens that are already in there or out of the full 12?
I mean, you're not there. It's figurative. What do you want it to be?
If I had to choose my dream team for the improv challenge, I think it would be you, Danny Beard, and Pixie.
Oh, we're going for a foursome.
I think it'd be the most fun. Now, I love Cheddar to bits, but don't get me wrong, she's very, very good, very, very good. But in my improv troupe, I want us all to be clowns. And Cheddar is very intelligent, and her IQ is much higher than mine.
I mean, the clown privilege is strong with your lineup. I will give you that. So our teams were picked and they went off to film Catty Man with Alan. Each team had to make a scenario that involved cats in some way. Our first team was Cheddar, Danny, and Pixie. Their story was something to do loosely with a missing woman and a cat psychic. Did you enjoy this lineup? Did you enjoy their improv?
I bloody loved it. This group had the right catitude, sweetheart, and with the right catitude, anything is possible. That's the one. I love me a cat pun. Love me a cat pun. Yep. Danny absolutely smashed it out the park. I thought Cheddar was beautifully nuanced. Like Cheddar was giving us like full-on Meryl Streep. It was gorgeous. Danny came in, was so quick off the mark, and then Pixie was the cherry on top. I bloody loved it. Bloody loved it.
Absolutely agree with you. And my favourite thing about it was that Cheddar and Pixie did not go for classic glamour drag. They were like, we are going coherent. We are going with those strange lines that they're drawn on their face. They were meant to be sisters. I believed it. And the moment that Danny took those teeth out, I died. That was it. Danny had won the challenge at that point. You didn't even need to see the rest of these girls. 100%. So we move on to our next team, which was Baby, LaPhil, and Dakota. What did you think of their little skit-scat?
Yeah, do you know what? It was not bad at all. I think, firstly, Dakota, you know, for someone who says that they've not done improv before, I think she blew it out the park.
Absolutely.
100%. You know, she was quick. She was reacting. She was thinking on her feet. I really enjoyed the bit where she was like, bitch, and then changed it to slag, like clever, clever, clever. Made Alan laugh, and I think that's the most important thing. So well done, Dakota.
And she made herself laugh. I love when were absolutely creasing themselves up, and they were so in on the joke the whole time. And I think that that's something that our season has done the whole way throughout. I feel like everyone's very in on their own jokes, and I think it's great, and it really shone in this challenge.
Yeah. I think Baby Baby didn't do a bad job at all. I think when Baby came forward, that was her moment to really take it, and I think she might have got a little bit lost when she was kind of going in on that monologue moment. But
I kind of liked it. I even enjoyed the song. Was so ridiculous, and I was like, I know that as soon as Baby got home that night, she sat there and she was probably like, I'm going to write a hit song about, what was it, being a cat and then having boobs, and then I don't even know where it went, but I wanted more. I want an album, a concept album from that character. And then Phil was there to bring the whole thing together. And I kind of think that with these improv challenges, the judges will always critique the person that's holding it together as like the serious character. But actually, sometimes you need that. And I think that with the team that what they were doing, it did kind of need Phil to be there and rein it in a bit. Even though some of the lines may have been fed through Alan, I think that it worked, and it gave that kind of story arc that you needed.
Yeah, no, I thought Phil was really good. And the one thing I really enjoyed about the Phil was the character was played from start to finish. And start to finish. And I think, you know, in any sort of acting or improv, you've got to make a choice and go for it. And that choice has got to be bold. So the Phil went in with a bold choice. Didn't always work, but that's fine. I think it went with a bold choice. The character was strong and it held, you know, LaFille was the glue that held it all together. And I thought, good job. Like the team did a really good job.
Absolutely. Now, talking of bold choices, let's move on to our final team, which was Sminty, Pepper, and Jombers. Now, there were some bold choices made in this. Pepper came out very strong. She had been catfished by someone on the internet. Catfished by someone on the internet. She was meeting that person and they were about to get married. Now, unfortunately, the woman she was going to marry was Sminty and she didn't live up to what she expected. Did you think that this was going well for the girls?
Do you know what? It was really interesting. Sminty's entrance was fabulous. And I was like, you've got the physicality, this veil covering your face. Like there was a missed opportunity when that veil came off. You know, it was like, do you remember that challenge with Asia O'Hara and she sort of painted herself with like warts and hairs and stuff? I think Sminty could have really gone to town with that. And then that face reveal could have been really funny. And that would have had everyone laughing straight away. So like, she didn't do a bad job at all. I think she might have got lost a little bit, but that physicality was there and I really loved it. And I think, you know, get her back in an improv challenge again and she will have learned loads from it.
100%. And my favorite thing about it is that it proves that even pretty girls sometimes struggle to do ugly makeup. So, before our runway, the girls were getting ready and the conversation turned to hair and how it was all of their crowning glory. Each one of them had a little bit of a different story, a different take on this narrative, and every one of them had such a personal experience with their own hair. How do you kind of feel about that?
I think it's a really important thing just in general life. I think we've all got such a connection to hair, and I think actually it's just about embracing the hair you're given, or, you know, actually to be honest with you, it's like hairy or smooth, stubbly or bare, like it doesn't matter. It's you embracing hair or no hair the way you want. And I think, you know, when LaFille was talking about there being a super strict way of having your hair cut within kind of his heritage, I think, you know, it's a shame that kind of that is still going on. Like there's absolutely no blurred lines there. It's like, if you are a boy, you must cut your hair like this, and if you're a girl, you must have your hair like this. And for LaFille to kind of, you know, grow his hair so long, I just think it's beautiful, and I'm glad that he's been able to kind of celebrate it. And by the way, everyone, I'm using he, him, or his pronouns because LaFille's pronouns are he, him, his.
I did see that some people were bringing that up. They were like, why do the judges keep saying that? And you know what? Some drag queens can be he. I really learned a lot about all the girls, and like I didn't know about Cheddar's story, and I thought that was really moving.
Yeah.
And like also, like, I mean, we both have very a lot of our characters kind of come from our relationships with hair. Like for me, the whole thing with Jerry was that she was the ginger one, and as the ginger one, I kind of resonated with that, and like that's what's kind of driven a lot of what I do, is being the big fiery redhead. And I know that that's something that kind of comes up with your narrative a lot as well. So it's a really interesting thing that there's such a broad take on hair in this series. And I think it's something that goes on with a lot of drag queens, is that it is such a big thing with what you do, because, you know, wigs are our crown and glory.
Yeah, it was just great to kind of hear everyone's stories, and actually, you know, yeah, Cheddar's totally moved me. I loved it, but then Cheddar just finally kind of having that crowning moment of going, do you know what? When I shaved it off, everything just felt good. And Cheddar is our smooth alien supreme goddess. I'm obsessed.
You know, all dolphins are aliens. That's what we're doing. Let's move on to our runway. Our runway this week was the main event, MANE. Oh. How would your main event have gone?
Oh, baby, I was so excited to show this one off. Everyone head to my Instagram and Twitter and you will see it. But it was just all about embracing your body hair. You know, there's so many people in this world who get shamed for body hair. And it's like, doesn't matter where you fit on that gender spectrum, where you see yourself, just let the hair out, let it grow, be proud of it. And for me, you know, I went ginger, obviously, but it's me kind of embracing, as you said earlier, like embracing ginger hair because, you know, for most of my life, everyone was like, ginger pubes are a bad thing. Actually, ginger pubes are the best in the world. They're the happiest pubes you'll ever see. Get them out, sweetheart.
So let's start with Danny on the runway. She came out in a big, hairy, beary Mary monster outfit. I loved it. It was quintessentially Danny, and it was what I expected. And even though I expected it, I'm not disappointed.
No, I totally expected that silhouette, but I still loved it. I think the big red hair on top was fabulous. The little red dog was brilliant. Like, just the way Danny executed the runway, so good.
The dog was so good. And I think it was made by Florencia. And my favorite thing was that she put on Instagram saying, this was the first thing I made for Drag Race UK season 4. And it was the tiny little wig for a dog. And I was like, I'm dead. Let's move on to Cheddar. Cheddar's cat outfit. Now, did she know that it was a cat challenge and a hair runway in the same day? Because that was too good.
Too good, baby. Yeah, honestly, when Cheddar walked out of that behind the scenes bit and just entered that archway, I was like, you absolute star. This is unreal. Like, we've seen many cats go down that runway, many furry things go down that runway, but Cheddar just elevates it to another place. Like, that prosthetic was going right into the skin. The fur, like, just the application of it all was unreal. Like, Cheddar, I bow down to you, my leader.
So gorgeous. Up next, let's move on to Pixie. Pixie's outfit, I thought kind of similar to what you had planned with the nude bodysuit and then the kind of Birth of Venus feel. I thought she looked stunning. What did you think?
She looks really beautiful, and I didn't know that it belonged to Something Wong as well. So it's Pixie kind of holding up on the Drag Race stage that kind of family legacy. So that was a beautiful story as well. But I think Pixie looked so beautiful. That hair was gorgeous. The body was right. It was glistening in the right way. The fabric that was kind of on the arms and across the shoulders was flowing beautifully. Like, well done, babe. Well done.
Smashed it. Up next, let's go for Dakota and her curtains. I thought the story behind this was so good and it really came alive. Well done, Dakota. Up next, let's go for Baby and her braided look. I really loved the idea. I thought that the execution of it was beautiful. I wish there was a few more braids maybe on the top half, but I really loved the exposed cage on the bottom.
Yeah. I love the concave effect. I thought it was bloody beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I totally agree with you. More braids, baby. And it would have been
a braided train. Oh my God. Do you imagine the cage that she had, but with a braided train? Oh,
right back. That would have finished it off. Honestly, like, the idea was strong. The idea was there. And you're right. Yeah. Adding more braids, like a braided train, that would have just been the cherry on top. Sweet.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Up next, we had LaPhil with his sinkhole look. I loved this. LaPhil told me about this after the show, and I was just like, as someone that lives with someone with a lot of hair, there is always a sinkhole drainage.
I love the idea. You know, back at uni drama school, I was living with girls with lovely long luscious locks, and yeah, it gets caught in the plug holes. You know, when I first moved to London, my flatmate had gorgeous long hair, and yeah, it gets caught in those plug holes. You have to pick it out, and it's all congealed. So I thought, LaPhil, bloody smashed it. Beautiful idea.
Let's move on to our final three. It was Pepper in her braided look, and this, oh, gorgy. My favorite thing about Pepper's looks, whenever she does these dresses with boobs attached, I love how big the boobs are. And it's like, Pepper never wears a boobie unless it is attached to a dress like that. And she's done it about 2 or 3 times now, and I love it every time.
Yeah, Pepper is really bringing to this season, like, structure. Like, every time she comes down that runway, I feel like it's an architectural piece. And from kind of the neon look to this one, just beautiful. Honestly, well done, Peppa.
Girl was Jombers with her royal historical outfit. She was Lady Diana Spencer's auntie, and I thought that the fur coat, no knickers, and then to change it and actually just have fur knickers, perfect. So funny, hilarious, loved it.
Yeah, I was obsessed with that wig as well, and the makeup. Just it was taking me back to like the 60s and 70s, and it was just stunningly done. Well done.
Our final girl was, of course, Sminty with that moth-eaten outfit. Do you know what? My one thing is, I wish it actually was moth-eaten.
Yes, if it had holes all over it, that would have been great.
But that hair, the hair. Sminty could not fit through that door.
Yeah, she just knows how to do it. Like all of her runways. Well, because we were neighbors, we were like workroom neighbors, and some of her stuff on that rail was bloody lovely. Bloody lovely.
Our top team of the week was Cheddar, Danny, and Pixie, with our winner being Danny Beard, a deserved win in my opinion. What do you think?
Fully deserved it. For me, it was between Danny and Pixie. And I think it could have gone to any one of those two. But I think Danny definitely had that kind of quick nature in the improv. Was really quick off the mark. So that has to be praised.
Our safe girls were Dakota, Peppa, Jombers, and finally LaPhil, which meant it left Baby and Sminty in the bottom. Unfortunately, the girls had to lip sync to Respectable by Melon Sue or Melon Kim. I always get the two confused. One's Bake Off, one's an 80s pop band. When we were given these songs, I actually have always loved this song. When I was a kid, I remember just singing it because I loved the take.
So good.
Loved it. And my favorite thing was it was given to two of the youngest people on the cast who weren't even born when that song came out. And I was like, fitting.
I kind of love that. I love that so much. All of us are getting like the young hip stuff. And then chuck an oldie to the young ones. Brilliant.
But they smashed it. And honest to God, when I was watching it last night, I thought, this is so good. They are both bringing it. And Baby ripping the whole thing off and just doing it in a pair of hands.
Naked.
I was like, this is brave, but it is good. And that is all that matters. Sminty held her own and actually turned out a really good lip sync as well.
Really good lip sync. I want to say this about Sminty. Sminty has been serving looks 100%. But actually, when it comes to lip syncing, she was quirky and goofy, and I totally applaud that. Like, if you are a look queen and you can be like goofy and quirky and just not worry about kind of how you look on stage, then you're onto a winner. Onto a winner, darling.
And my favourite thing was her little throwback in her confessional where she said the look is 50% of the mark. I think it's going to be something that comes up again and again throughout this season.
Starlet, your legacy lives on.
Unfortunately, the lady said Sminty should go home. She was devastated and you could see it in her face. Now, how do you, as someone that had just done that, how do you think Sminty felt?
It's totally a horrible feeling. Like, we've gone through it and so is Starlet. It's all of a sudden you're like, oh, damn, this is now ended. And all that stuff I wanted to show is now not going to happen. And it's a horrible feeling. And I think, Sminty knew deep down she could have gone further and had it in her to go far. So, my heart broke for her because it's not a nice feeling, but she dealt with it beautifully, and that exit was iconic.
The exit. I mean, there is something to be said about this season because our exit lines have been pretty iconic. Even little Starlet with her, thank you.
Yes.
Now, Sminty left us with a sad twerk at the end of the runway. But what do you think your just slay moment of the episode would be? Copper Top, come on, give it to us, babe.
May, my just slay moment has got to be, I'm going to say Pixie Polite's Runway. She looked bloody beautiful. Well done, babes. My
just slay moment is gonna be Danny with the teeth. It was so funny, and I died. She killed me.
Where did she get those teeth from? That's what I want to know.
The combination of her and Alan in that moment, it was just...
Yeah. Well done, Danny, babes.
But, Copper, what is your get fucked moment? What part of this episode do you want to get rid of and just say, get fucked?
Pepper forgetting my name, sweetheart. That's not the one.
My get fucked moment of this episode, it has to be not being there for Alison Hammond, because she is an absolute icon, and I would have got a picnic bench out, jumped on it and broke it with her. Alison Hammond, this episode of May I Just Say is dedicated to you. Copper Top, thank you for joining me. Have you got anything that you want to plug except for your hole?
Oh, baby. My new single now, everybody, Weirdo, is on all musical platforms. Download, stream it, and while you're at it, do it to Just May too.
Yep, Just Like Jerry is still out there somewhere in the ether.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It goes, just like Jerry, just like Jerry, just like Jerry. It's my favourite.
Thanks, babe. Copper Top, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on all social media at Copper Top Queen. Top with 2 P's. Because 2 P's is better than 1.
Copper Top, there's only one more thing to do, and that is to say, get fucked, babes.
Get fucked!